Hey man, another day, another artist signed to the label Empire finding their untimely death in a crazy fashion, man. And this time it's none other than artist Shootergang VJ, a close associate of Shootergang Coney, a well-known rapper and rap group basically based out of Sacramento, California, whose group is making some headway, getting signed to Empire and becoming a major namesake in the Northern California area. It's a crazy situation because it seems that VJ, just days before his death, posted on his Instagram saying he missed his lost partners and asking them to save a spot in heaven for him, only for him to get taken out less than a week later. And it's even crazier just knowing that he moved from the war zone that was Sacramento to Texas to try to change his life and ended up getting sprayed on in the worst way possible, man. Well, so today we got to talk about the unfortunate beef that took out Shootergang VJ. Right now we're gonna get into it, but before we do, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run up this video, man. Make sure y'all check out the merch, link in the description at staysafeworld.com. We on the road to 10k subscribers. We like 50 away, so make sure y'all tap into that and hit that notification bell so whenever I post, y'all are tuned in right away. Man, let's get into this right now.
Just coming in tonight in the murder of a 25-year-old man in Porter. ABC 13's Daniela Hurtado is live in the neighborhood with the update. Daniela?
Erica, good evening. We now have our first look at the vehicle investigators believe is connected to the murder that happened this afternoon in this neighborhood. Investigators want you to be on the lookout for this car. It's a four-door gray Pontiac sedan. They tell us the windows are tinted and the car has a red Pontiac logo on the hood. A street filled with deputies and evidence markers on the ground is the last thing people in this Oakhurst neighborhood in Porter expected to come home to this afternoon. The sound of Sky I-13 up above as investigators in Montgomery County work to figure out what unfolded on Bitterroot Drive this afternoon after the body of a man was found in the driveway of a home.
We are still in the very early stages of this. However, preliminary investigation indicates that there was an altercation between two males who knew each other.
Specialist Travis Wood confirms a 25-year-old man who's believed to live in the area was shot multiple times and killed. Tonight, how the suspect and victim know each other or why they were fighting has not been released. Deputies are looking for this gray Pontiac sedan they believe is connected to the man's murder. A description of the suspect or suspects has not been made public.
A 25-year-old man's body was left lying in a driveway on Wednesday in the wake of a shooting in a Porter, Texas neighborhood. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office said the victim was shot multiple times during an altercation in the 20100 block of Bitterroot Drive. According to MCSO specialist Travis Wood, deputies were called at about 2:30 p.m. regarding an assault with a firearm, leading them to find the victim who died at the scene. Based on preliminary information, Wood said the victim may have been interacting with a man he knew before he was shot. The suspect, whose relationship with the victim is not immediately known, took off in a 2010 Pontiac four-door sedan with a dark limousine tinting all around the vehicle and a red Pontiac emblem on the hood. Deputies believe that this car right here has something to do with it, man. Man, it's a crazy situation, but knowing Shootergang VJ, he definitely was not an angel and had a lot of heat going on in the streets and one beef with one of the biggest artists in California in general, man, that we gotta get into. It might not have something to do with this situation. It's too soon to really tell, but a lot of what happened basically has people wondering if this has something to do with the ongoing beef that has been making headlines for years now. So we gotta get into this. Although it could have been a result of Shootergang VJ just being extremely active in the area that he moved to, police are saying that this incident was with someone he probably knew. Many believe that this could have been some type of connection between Shootergang and their well-known beef with Sacramento rapper Mozzie. Their supposed beef has been going on for years, with even one instance where Shootergang VJ was flexing chains apparently stolen from Mozzie's crew, while at the same time Shootergang was claiming that Mozzie's crew was somehow associated with known informants, bro. I swear you cannot make this up. It is one of the craziest beefs in California in general. The reason why this beef is so crazy is because it was actually an internal beef between two people, two groups from the same set. Both Mozzie and members of Shooter Gang represent the Oak Park Bloods, a set of Bloods from the Oak Park neighborhood of Sacramento. Formed back in the 1980s, this gang grew in reputation and size and became one of the biggest gangs in the Sacramento area. As with many gangs, in the 2000s, the younger generation of members began making different cliques within the gang structure, which could eventually lead to different crews beefing with each other. Oak Park eventually created a crew called Mozzie, where the rapper Mozzie gets his namesake. At the same time, another group began rising from the Oak Park umbrella by the name of Shooter Gang, which comprised of Shooter Gang Coney, VJ, JoJo, Dure, and more. At first, like with a lot of rap beefs, Mozzie gave them cosigns and even appeared in a lot of their early videos. But then things took a left turn when Mozzie's crew was allegedly involved and cool with snitches, according to Shooter Gang. It all started with Shooter Gang Dure accusing another Oak Park member named Gangster Jeff of being a snitch when paperwork leaked, implicating him as being an informant. Apparently, somewhere along these lines, Shooter Gang Coney was apparently jumped by members of Mozzie and had his chain apparently snatched in a situation that basically crumbled their already fragile relationship. Reached a peak when Shooter Gang VJ began taunting Mozzie on the internet, flexing chains that were taken from a Mozzie affiliate. At the same time, Mozzie basically did a greasy neck tour, flexing a SSG chain that they stole from SSG Kobe in a quick vlog interview, a series of meet and greets with fans, and a straight up greasy neck tour music video. At one point though, Shooter Gang VJ came out and dropped a diss track against the Mozzie gang member Murder Gang Juju, and he also came out and dissed Mozzie in general. It was basically getting super crazy for a while, and at certain points people thought that there was going to be a lot of bloodshed behind this. Several members died. We don't really know if those members though that died had something to do with this ongoing beef, or it could have been the beef that Oak Park basically had in general with a lot of different crews just being gangs in California, you know. But at the end of the day, it's just crazy that shit basically ended this way, with Shooter Gang VJ basically getting hit up in a completely different state thousands of miles away. You know, unless he was extremely active in that city, which could have been the way possible. I mean, bro was Simon Empire, you know, so it seemed like he probably had some sort of bag. It wouldn't have made sense to be super active like that, especially when you're getting money in an area that isn't that expensive. You could just be making bread and doing stuff like that. But it could be something where someone that he was trapping with or something like that basically could have taken him out. You know, the whole Mozzie beef was a pretty crazy time in Northern California politics. But when Mozzie went to jail for over a year, basically things calmed down. And ever since he came out of jail, you haven't really heard much from it. But people still want to point out that fact. And a lot of people were not necessarily saying about time that he died, but the type of behavior that he was doing while he was alive definitely warranted people having certain feelings about him, so he had to move extremely cautious. And I guess he tried to take those steps by moving out of the California area and moving someplace completely different, but apparently that wasn't enough and took him out. And it's honestly pretty unfortunate. I know Shooter Gang Coney probably feels some type of way about this, but at the end of the day, man, you live by this shit and you die by this shit, which is the most unfortunate part about this gang life. And so many of these members throughout this whole beef have ended up dying to all types of different causes, and there's looking like there might not be an end in sight throughout all this, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this, man. Let me know in the comments if you think that this had something to do with that beef or this was just some random incident, man. Let me know what y'all thinking. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tap in with the merch. Link in the description, StaySafeWorld.com. You already know.